Good morning, everyone. We're here to make an announcement about a very generous donation from Rivet Computers regarding the Wichita Police Department's K-9 unit. First, I'd like to thank the Wichita Police Department and the K-9 unit for their efforts to fight crime in Wichita. These unique animals play a critical role in sniffing out bad elements in our community. The dogs are especially helpful with Wichita Police Department's battle illegal drugs. As you know, public safety is a huge priority for the Wichita City Council. So this kind of generosity is always appreciated and always needed. Now I'd like to introduce Wichita Police Chief Norman Williams.
I'd like to say good morning to each and every one of you. Before I make my comments, I want to introduce the 5 K-9 teams that are here this morning that are part of the Wichita Police Department. As I call out your names, if you don't mind just standing, so that way in case the media representatives want to interview you after the news conference. To my right, we have Officer Com, who is assigned to Patrol West. To my left, I'm sorry. To my right, we have Officer Hancock, who's assigned to Patrol East. As well, we also have Officer Padron, who's assigned to Patrol North. Officer Chad Cooper is Patrol South. And Detective Brian Martin is with Special Investigations. Those are the 5 K-9 handlers and team members for the Wichita Police Department. You know, this is a great opportunity that we're truly appreciative of Mr. Alex Harb as well as Rivet Computer for your generous commitment in regards to this fundraiser to assist the K-9 unit. And Mr. Harb is going to talk a little bit more about the fundraiser itself and how it's going to operate as well as the time frame. You know, as we all know, illicit drugs can have a tremendous impact on a family. As we've seen repeatedly, the level of devastation that in regards in families in our community, and it's so important for us as a police department to make sure we're doing the very best that we can do to try to intercept a lot of drugs from coming into our community. Because the more we can do on the front end to keep those drugs in our community, it helps us on the back end as far as making sure that those drugs are not distributed throughout our community that we work so hard to make sure that it's safe. You know, when you look over the last 2 years, we've been very diligent in our efforts, and I think these statistics will reflect the efforts of the K-9 teams to detect as well as seize various types of drugs that are legal. They were able to seize or detect 483 pounds of marijuana. In addition, they also were able to detect 97 pounds of cocaine as well as 19 pounds of methamphetamine. Because of our ability to detect and seize these drugs were not distributed throughout this great community of ours. And so it's ironic, I was talking with Mr. Harbour earlier, and we were talking about how the K-9 teams can detect drugs in hidden compartments that we as the human beings don't even have any idea that drugs are hidden in those hidden compartments, whether they're in the wheel well of a 18-wheeler or a makeshift department in an engine block. And so, like I said, that's so important. You know, the question is often asked is, why is private donation so important to the K-9 teams? Because it allows us to be able to fund our veterinarian services. It also helps provide those supplies that's needed to maintain the health and well-being of our K-9s, and also to be able to purchase equipment for the K-9 handlers as well as other department members within this organization. People think that the K-9 unit is funded through the general fund. The only thing that's funded through the general fund is the officers' salaries and benefits as well as the vehicles that we provide. Anything else is donated through the community, and we appreciate that. And that's why today's announcement in partnership with Rivet Computer is so important, is the fact that those funds will continue to make sure that we have the available funds to allow us to have any very effective, efficient, quality K-9 teams in this community, because they're charged with helping to make this community safe. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Alex Harb, who is the owner of Rivet Computer. Mr. Harb.
Okay.
Good morning. As you all know, Ribbit Computers is a locally owned and operated business. It started 5 years ago in Wichita, Kansas, and it was created by the community of Wichita, Kansas. The community in Wichita has supported Ribbit Computers ever since Ribbit Computers started. So to thank the community and to give back to the community of Wichita, Ribbit Computers decided to dedicate 1 month out of the year to give back to the community. And it's going to start this year. For the month of October, every time you shop with Ribbit Computers, we're going to take some out of our profit to donate it to the K-9 unit, hoping to raise between $10,000 to $20, depending on the response that we get from the public. Ribbit Computers believes that it is our responsibility as a business that's being served by our great community to give back to this community, because as we do that, we help maintain a healthier and safer community. Thank you very much.
We're going to open up for questions that you may have of either myself, Mr. Harb, or Mayor Brewer. So this is your chance to ask us questions.
Alex, you could have chosen any number of projects or programs as a way to give back to the community. Why the K-9 unit?
Because of the relationship that we've had with the K-9 unit, ever since we started, we had problems with shoplifters, break-ins, and working especially with the East Substation when we first started on Lincoln and Woodlawn. We had a lot of help from the police department, and that's why the first payback we wanted to go to the police department. Next year. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And next year's donation is going to go to the Wichita School Districts. We don't know what's going to happen the year after, so.
Other questions?
How much does it cost to operate one drug dog in the city of Wichita?
I'd have to research that, because when you start talking about the costs, you include the officer's salary and benefit, the purchase and operation of a vehicle, as well as, we know it costs about $6,000 to $7,000 to purchase just a dog itself, and then you add additional costs in regards to training. But what we can do is I can ask Captain Landon if we could compile a list of exact costs for just one K-9 team, and that way you get a full overview of exactly what we're talking about from that standpoint.
Things are tight now, and when someone steps up to do something like this, obviously that has to be very rewarding to you guys to have this.
Well, you're right about that. We're extremely excited and appreciative there again of Mr. Harb and Ribbit Computer, because it takes everybody working together in the community to make this community safe. And there's so many things that a community can do to help us to accomplish our goals, which is provide for a safe, secure community. And what the Ribbit Computers is doing is one of those many facets that's so important for this community, as well as the police department. Mayor, did you want to add anything else, sir?
No, I would just say to Ribbit Computers to thank them for their generous donation and being able to help our Wichita Police Department and to help with the K-9 unit. And the K-9 unit is a very key part to the success of the Wichita Police Department, and also the success in fighting crime in our communities. And public safety, safe communities is the #1 priority for the Wichita City Council, and we're very appreciative of the fact that we're fortunate, which most cities are not, to be able to have the total number of K-9 units that we have here in the city of Wichita. And not only do they work to fight crime here in the city of Wichita, but occasionally they go outside to help other communities, other cities throughout the state of Kansas. They're asked to be called in to assist there. So we thank Ribbit Computers, and the Wichita City Council will be doing everything we can to support the K-9 unit and making sure that the citizens are safe.
If there's no other questions there, again, we just want to say thank you for being here. And like I said, we're excited about this partnership between the City of Wichita Police Department and Ribbit Computers, because it takes everybody working together to have a safe community. So appreciate it.